Okay guys, before we hop into the video, I'd like to give a heartfelt apology about the last 5 videos. It did not pick up any of my commentary. Though it was a big part of the story. It was a big part of the story. Can just cut it out. I'm pretty sure the button on the controller mutes both mics at that point. So again, I'm highly sorry I'm highly sorry for being boring. I'm very sorry for it. So, hopefully you enjoy the video. And hopefully you pick up my voice this time. Hopefully there's commentary. Good question, Parvati, good question. They were like this when I got here. Children chosen to see... Oh, yikes. Site near the ocean. I know where that is. But wait, what happened here though? Did this guy shoot this guy? Oh, but the other guy got shot too? Did that happen? Did they just shoot each other? I can't tell if you're pleased to be back in town.
Hard to say. Without Reed, we've got the run of the town.
It's the game I'm playing. Guess that's a good thing.
Adelaide went on about living in harmony with one another and whatnot. We'll see if it comes to pass.
We will have to see. Parvati? Someone's in your garage.
I never got a chance to thank you for hearing me out. Gave me the courage to ask for a job in the workshop.
I see you decided to come back.
I'm happy when I'm working with my hands. Just gotta convince them to let me use the workshop.
No complaints here? It's gonna probably be useful later. This is the first time I noticed this here. Hey Max, hi Parvati. Hello. Free cachet. Yes! Oh yes, I didn't know you were in the game. Questions for you, my good doctor.
Go ahead.
You seem pretty enthusiastic about this place.
Edgewater has been good to me. I consider myself privileged to work here. I am never wanting for work, not since the plague started.
What do you know about this plague?
The plague's come at us with a vengeance this year. Lost 6 workers in as many months. I wouldn't call them good workers, mind you. If they were any good, they'd have been treated. Still, it is a shame.
What are the symptoms?
Fever, chills, fatigue, aching, vomiting, an excess of phlegm, a tendency towards belly aching.
And why? What you describe sounds a lot like a flu.
Whatever it may be, I have developed my own palliative. Boiled canid liver and a splash of ethanol.
Why don't you treat all your workers?
Company policy, friend. We don't have enough medicine to treat all of us, so we treat the best among us.
And whose idea was that? Wait, that's us. Among us.
Mr. Thompson's brainchild. Have you met him yet? Thoughtful-looking fellow, stares out of his office most hours.
That's all for now. Also, we need to check his office to see if he's even there. Hello, Adelaide.
Time changes all things. Even Reed's stranglehold over Edgewater must inevitably yield to the attrition of time.
I was wondering about your garden.
The garden will bloom anew. I have plans to transform the old cannery into a nursery, with crops enough to feed a town.
Still using corpses in your fertilizer?
But of course. And now we have a whole cemetery to ourselves.
Now that Raid's gone, what do you plan to do?
Start anew. Edgewater will become the town it was meant to be. A place where we live in harmony with the world. Where none of us writhe under the whips of corporate masters.
Thumbs
A
up!
place where all are welcome. Except for Reed supporters, of course.
Are you concerned about the plague?
Saltuna was making the town sick.
As I
From now
thought.
on, if anybody's hungry, they may feast from the bounty of the soil.
Take care. I got Weed's key card. A heist, anyone? Didn't
I
expect that.
appreciate the company and all, but you really ought to leave. You don't want to be seen around me.
And why not?
Because I'm sick. You don't want to associate with people in the sick house. We're not worth your time. I'm in about as much trouble as I can be. No reason you ought to be tarnished by association. People are gonna talk.
I don't mind.
I don't know which company you work for, but if it's Spacer's choice, boss can still write you up for fraternizing with an incompetent worker. Maybe you don't know this, but there's a real simple reason you don't talk to the plagued.
I've
You
got
don't want
some.
what we've got.
I've got some training I could take a look at. You.
Don't. Please. I could get into a lot of trouble.
You obviously need help.
That's kind of you to say, I suppose. But I don't need help. What I need is to understand my own folly. Company always tells us, weak spirits lead to weak bodies. If I didn't want to fall sick with plague, maybe I should have worked harder. Maybe I should have taken more pride in my work.
That's ridiculous. You can't blame yourself because you fell sick.
I really wish you wouldn't say those sorts of things. I told you once already. People could be listening. I'm feeling a touch faint. If you don't mind, I'd like to be alone for a spell.
I've got some adrenaline time. It's yours if you want.
You've got Adrena time? How? No, I don't want to know. Could be you stole it. Could be you're trying to test me. See if I'm gonna violate company policy.
Nope.
I'm feeling a touch faint.
You look chipper.
At least I paid my gravesite fees.
Ma'am, are you alright?
Who was that?
I think she's dead. In my medical profession. Oh, this guy's definitely dead. Gunshots? What's going on?
Rock one up! Company ammo!
What's going on? What was going on?
They start asking you for some medicine, come tell me. I'll set them straight.
I will. My ankle! That does not look good. Oh.
I smite you in the name of the law.
Nice work!
Hey, we also kept him pretty well around. puzzling back. Need to move on to the groundbreaker. The groundbreaker.
Destination reached. The groundbreaker.
Alright.
Can we talk?
Sure.
Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson.
What about her?
I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Sure, we could head over to the engineering now.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
Nope. And leaving. Do-do-do.
Return in 1 minute.
Continuing on. Here we go. We're on the groundbreaker. Looks bigger in the picture, if I'm being honest. Huh. Hey, Jamison.
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure.
Ah, that makes sense.
Groundbreaker, by the by. Don't mind the heat. Got a few.
Captain.
I actually like the heat.
Captain.
Yes?
Space. I never thought I'd be able to say that. That was a good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and...
Darn it. Ever had that one-track mind where you expect something but leave, but you also miss out on something when you do so? That just happened there. I miss a unique dialogue expecting a different unique dialogue.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
That's the other point.
Yeah, with a tossball stick, I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time for this. I need a drink.
Hello.
For a stroll around the docking base?
I noticed you were in the middle of an argument.
Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs.
I'd like to hear your side of what happened.
I had this foreman, right?
Okay.
Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting.
So you defended the honor of your team.
Exactly. I was only doing what any self-respecting Rangers fan would have done. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks
Okay, I'm
he
not a
can push
sports
me
guy.
around 'cause he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back-bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation.
You're just lucky you're not serving a sentence.
You know something? I am lucky. I ought to raise a glass of 0G to my fortune, if I had the bits. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
That's me, Captain of the Unreliable.
Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time.
You in a hurry to get somewhere?
Oh, not at all. Just, you know, gonna figure out what to do next. See you around, boss.
I know what you're going to do next, to be honest. I know what you're going to do next. They made it obvious as soon as you get off that ship. As soon as you get off the Unreliable, it's already obvious.
Yeah, I've done work for Sublight. Need to pay the bills somehow.
Conspiracy to commit conspiracy. Oh boy. Unauthorized medical practice, destruction of board or property.
That's quite the impressive list of infractions.
Indeed. Longer than his.
Identification, please.
Here you go.
Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day.
Oh
According to your
boy.
ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably.
How do I get this resolved? I mean, we gotta keep out the Hawthorne Act. Greatest Hawthorne is our social guy. The guy people get to know. You know, people, scout out for a vigilante. How do I get this resolved?
Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker.
And he's gonna be the one
His
guy's
office is
gonna
located
notice.
along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it.
Any idea why my ship was impounded?
Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important.
Great, I will have to straighten this
Can't
out.
take the starch out of them? Well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor?
Sure.
Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it.
Her shipment?
A handful of SAM cleaning units retrofitted for surgery. I don't know much
Ooh.
else. I stopped listening when she started yelling.
Got it.
Much appreciated. Is there anything
Hey, we
else
need
I
to
can
talk
help you with?
to we need to talk to Ada about Sam yet. Sounds like there's tension between the board and the Groundbreaker.
You noticed, huh?
I'm sure
What can
I'm
I
sure
say?
like
We're
that.
passionate folks, and the board can't abide that independent spirit, especially not when it might impact their bottom line. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them.
I'm glad it terrifies them, to be honest.
It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They
Surrounded.
got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new Groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
They would.
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway.
The board runs most of the system, don't they?
Yep. Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing base. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year.
Thanks for the info. I'm looking for someone named Gladys.
You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make
Okay.
sure you bring an empty belly.
Let's see. Can I find a job around here?
Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. Two biggest operations are the board, that is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those
Okay.
jobs are going to take you off station, though.
What do you know about
They strip
Sublight
the parts from
Salvage?
derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished.
Yikes.
They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them.
Okay. How does Halcyon Holdings work
Are
anyways?
you pulling my leg?
I just want to hear your take on
Goes
it.
like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board.
How does the Groundbreaker fit into that? Or, Let's figure out how the Groundbreaker
was
fits.
one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here we are.
So there's actually a boardroom somewhere with all these company heads in it.
Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the inside of it myself. Glad to help.
I'm looking for something more local.
Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind
Watch what you say, bro.
Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
Got it.
Happy to
Thanks.
help. That's my job, after all.
I'm actually a Groundbreaker
at it,
worker.
Well, thank you, miss. It's nice to be recognized. Yep.
Can we move this along? I have a certain, matter I'd like to attend to, Captain.
I know. We'll get to that. Which we need to go into the medical bay for. Then back to
Relative
security.
to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either.
That's all I need to know. Thank you. What can you tell me about UW Bedford?
Unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison.
Oh, okay.
Sure thing. Be seeing you.
We don't need to know a drink recommendation.
This is it. Security.
Mm-hmm.
I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the Scholar shipped in and out with.
Okay.
Wasteland. You were hearing things.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Who told you that? Graham?
Weird. Guess my job is important.
Try not to be distracted by the glare.
Well, it's not a job.
Lots of unsafe.
More like a hobby.
With 12% more crunch.
You got a maintenance issue, take it to Chief Junlei. She's in engineering.
Will do. Now we got some special dialogues with this Spacer's Choice. Space's Choice? This over here. This where they go for drinks. Hello?
You know that sound when you've snapped on an injector clip? That's how you know your weapon loves you back. I got a full line of weapon modifications I'd be happy to show you.
What's the benefits of modifying my
Why,
weapons?
it gets you the
The
weapon best
obvious.
suited for your lifestyle.
See?
All the better for performing a little percussive maintenance.
Self-improvement, including one's weapons, is always a worthy endeavor.
A weapon can tell you a lot about the
Dead-eye assault
person.
rifle. Perfectly serviceable. But what if you like finesse? Slap a scope and silencer on that bad boy. Bunker down in a bush someplace and pop off heads.
Okay, now I got something to
What if
look
you
up.
like getting in
Do I got
close and
silencer
making a lot
modification
of
in this game?
noise? Extended ammo magazine and a barrel heatsink to bump up rate of fire.
I need to figure out if there's actually a silencer modification in this game. Because I've never seen one before. Does modifying a weapon void a warranty?
A what? Sorry, hon. Here at Bell's Shells, we just don't discuss impolite topics, and WARRANTIES tops the list.
I like Bell. Where can I find
Right
my
here for a
modifications?
start. I got a fair selection. Modified weapons are my specialty.
If I change my mind, can I take off a mod and replace it? Because if I can't, I think I know what company develops these modifications with how experimental they sound.
No and yes. When you install something, it pops in there real nice, but if you want to replace it, the originals tend to snap like plastic toys.
I have a feeling that Spacer's Choice way of making more money was faulty equipment.
Only takes a bit of elbow grease and a spot of engineering know-how.
Okay.
Most ships have a workbench near the cargo hold. Ours is in engineering. You could take your new toys over there if you feel like tinkering.
Oh, okay.
So, what can I get?
Looking for a silencer. Now, there's interesting dialogue with Felix and Ellie on this. Darn it! I was going to say we were gonna get Felix.
I know she's in there, Mfuru. You can't keep me out of there.
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene.
Before we do that. Do.
C&P Borstwurst. It's not the worst unless it's Borstwurst.
Lore! Lore! And got a quest!
You seem down.
Board patrol nicked a friend of mine. Accused her of piracy.
Shit. She actually do it?
No. One of the cleanest folk I know. She found a hold-up ship and was pulling a legal salvage. One of the big cruisers rolled up on her and claimed she'd done the holding her own self.
What?
What the hell are they gonna do with her?
They already done it. She was sent to the labyrinth on Tartarus. Disruption of intra-colony commerce.
Oh.
Sick, that's a prison for hard cases. Violent repeaters. Nobody gets out.
I know, man. Don't I know?
Sorry about your friend.
I picked up some weird chatter on my way in. Seemed to come from Monarch?
Okay. And yes, Monarch is gonna be a key place.
If you're hungry, you've come to the right place. I've got a fresh ground batch of spratwurst cooking.
Okay, Ethel.
They're terra-fried to lock in the juices. How about a grinder's dozen?
What is Spratwurst exactly?
You know what sprats are? Space rats. The laboratories of Spacer's Choice found a use for this limitless frontier resource. Sprat meat is plenty tasty when properly prepared. We grind them up in sausages, then terra-fry them in their own juices.
What does terra-fry mean?
Terra-frying is a Spacer's Choice brand secret. A mix of 13 herbs and spices, plus a dash of modern chemistry.
Spacer Choice? I do not want to get food from. They seem to mistake science for... what? ain't science. But then again, cooking is a science in itself. Is bratwurst your own invention or what?
Legally? No. The terra-frying method was developed and marketed by Spacer's Choice. Between you, me, and this grinder, I've been through lean times. If there's one thing you learn on tramp freighters, it's how to make near anything edible. Might be that this old space hand put a few words in the right
Sanji would like
ears.
you.
And could be that Spacer's Choice liked sticking it to C&P by R&D'ing our own special meat.
Oh.
Absolutely not. Spratwurst and all related terms are registered trademarks of Spacer's Choice.
Okay.
Boar, the other meat, is a registered trademark of C&P. Everyone knows our company and theirs are nothing alike.
Ah, okay.
Just
That's
as
not fun.
well, near about time for me to go check on the trap. I mean, to unload another crate of farm-fresh sprats.
Yeah,
As for the
sure.
grinder, any hour.
I mean, they are technically farmed too on this, aren't they?
You look like someone who's taken their share of cuts and bruises. Need some armor?
I did.
Maybe it's a bit secondhand, but that's only testament to its durability. We
Okay.
also have a line of specialized melee weapons. For those times you have to repel boarders, but don't want to risk a bullet through the hull.
Tell me more about your wares.
Everything I sell is fresh from the forge. Technically, the metal formed billions of years ago, but it's freshly in the shape.
Are you a spacer yourself?
Not me, but it's in my blood. After the crossing, my family worked Eridanos, indentured to the corporations.
Go on.
I was born into corporate labor, but I'm the first one of my family to buy my way out. That's why
Oh.
I settled on Groundbreaker.
Nice.
It's the last bastion of freedom.
That's nice, and I gotta clean my screen. Bugging.